Hello YouTube! I'm Pinstar and this is Rose-Colored Goggles SimCity 4. So yeah, I've been putting out videos for City Skylines 2 and the more I played it and tested it, it's not ready for prime time. They took it out of the oven way too early. I think there is a really good game under the hood there once everything gets fixed, completed, and polished. And I will certainly be doing a full playthrough of it once it reaches that state. However, current state, not really floating my boat. So having awakened the itch to play another city builder proper, I figured, you know what, let's go to my past, to my roots. Two of the games that I played as a youngin' and played to death, and that was SimCity 4 and Afterlife. And I put the vote to you, the community, and you guys wanted SimCity 4. So SimCity 4 you shall have. That being said, there will probably be sometime in the future a Rose-Colored Goggles on Afterlife, because that game is too good to put to a side. But I understand the need for classic, the last good SimCity game. So without further ado, let us begin. Oh, actually, no, one more ado. So one thing I realized way back in ages ago, I actually created a custom region. This was back when I was a little bit more into My Little Pony. Not so much anymore, but this artifact exists and was created back in January 1st, 2012. So this is an ancient thing. And you know what? Let's just say I've been working on this series for ages. So we're going to pull this custom map in to be our region du jour. I will be putting out a short sometime soon to explain how to load in custom regions into SimCity 4. There's a lot of modding and customizations that's gone into this, but that is for another video. Also, speaking of mods, I am using the 4GB patch, the jobs industry doubler, the IH census fix, the Opera House fix, the SC4 fix, and the ever required network add-on mod. All of those will be links in the description, along with the this one down here. Without further ado, let's begin. So here is our map. While I don't really, I'm not really as much into the characters represented by this map, I do think the map itself is a pretty good one. There's a lot of water, as you can tell, but there's enough solid spaces around to do some big city stuff. We're not here to maximize populations, we're here to make some interesting and dynamic cities. So that being said, we need to, you know, and besides, we don't want a whole bunch of carbon copy cities all around. So before all of the clouds here overtake us, that's just because we had it minimized for ages and the clouds kind of build up here, let's decide who we're going to go with. So here we are, our custom region, Equestria. While I don't really identify or really follow the show or these characters as much, I do think the map does make for an interesting and varied terrain. Namely, yes, there's a lot of water, but it forces us to build our cities around our coastlines, while letting us play with mechanics of ferries, but also deal with bridges. But also has larger patches of solid ground so we can get some interesting city centers going. And you know what, it's a lot, you know, and we also have some height here with their various marks here. So I think we can make some interesting dynamic cities here. But now the question begins where to start. Well, I like to start with a big tile. So I think, you know what, let's start front and center right here in the middle. This is probably one of the better setups for a brand new city in a brand new region. So let's dive in. Now, when you first load into a city, you have the opportunity to make some touch-ups to the terrain if so desired. I think our terrain is fine right now, so let us begin. Okay, so we are going to start our core city off here. Let's call it Silverwing. I am your Mayor Pinstar, and you know what? Yeah, we're gonna do this on hard. The difficulty mostly impacts your starting cash. I don't remember if it actually increases or decreases the amount of disasters that you get, but we have to be very mindful of our budget here. So let us establish, shall we? Good old SimCity 4. Okay, so now we need to pick where we need to get started. And the biggest dilemma is always that of separating your early industry from your early town. Mostly because, I mean, early game, you're going to have, you generally have to pollute in order to get industrial jobs going. So I'm looking up here, and I think this is a nice little area for a bridge. We need to be, it's not too long, but I think we can make it work. Now, we're probably not going to need an avenue right now, but planning for the future is probably going to be what we're going to want in the long term. And we just need to make sure, we need to find a way to paint the terrain. There we go. That is most of our starting money. Yikes. That's a little spicy right there. Not gonna lie. All right, you know what? Maybe we don't do the bridge right off the bat. Maybe we go with ferries to start things off here. These are a lot cheaper at 300 a pop, and we just need 2 of them. We'll probably build a bridge at some point, but for now, I think a ferry is the correct answer. We just need to find a good spot. Oop, right there. We're going to do the car ferry just so we don't need to get into buses right away, and our people can drive their way there as needed. Yeah, this is good right here. Beautiful. Okay, so this is how we're going to be separating we're going to have our industry up here. We're going to have the rest of our town down here. But it's not going to be necessarily all the yellow jobs up here either. But before we do anything else, let's get our road network painted. I'm going to start with our industrial area first. Now, industry in this game, industry can go about 4 tiles off of a road. We hook that up to there so that way cars can, basically people can drive to here and then drive off of here without having to switch to pedestrian mode. You do have pedestrian only versions of this, but it's more work. So I'm willing to pony up the, let's see what I did there. I'm willing to pony up the extra funds needed for that. Now, that being said, we do need a power plant, and in the early game, we have a few available to us, but the early game, your only real option, especially on hard mode, is coal. Coal is the absolute cheapest power plant out there for pretty much anything. And we do need power. Now, when you're building onto a region, you have the possibility of doing neighbor deals, but you actually have to there actually has to be a city for which you do your neighbor deals with. So that's the trick here. Your first city in a region, you need to be the one that does your own power and water and garbage. So the first city is a little bit harder. Now, one other thing that you need to be mindful of is that industries need to be able to bring their goods to market. The way that the SimCity 4 simulates that is that you basically have to bring it to the edge of a map, any edge of the map, or to like a freight harbor. But those are a bit too expensive for us right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take ourselves, get ourselves a road, and we're just going to paint a spine all the way up here, and we bring it to SimNation. Even though there is no other city up here, not yet anyway, it counts. So industries down here will just ship their goods up here, and we'll find better ways to bring goods to market as we go along. Now, the other thing that we are going to need to do here, speaking of providing our own services, is we're going to need a landfill. we'll put this down here. Landfills are stinky. They create ground pollution, but in the middle of a stinky industrial zone, that's not really a problem. All right. So in industry, there are 3 different zones. Your light is actually agricultural, which actually is a very different beast than the other 2. These 2 are fairly similar. This just determines how big the factories can get. Also in SimCity 4, you have to pay for zoning. So over zoning or just making everything high density is going to cost you. And that's we need to stick to low density or medium density for now. So we're going to draw that along here just to make use of these bottom areas. Actually, I'll draw this road out just a little bit more because I'm kind of a stickler for trying to use every single inch of space on a map, like so. And then usually you can do 4 away from here. So we'll do like that, 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 and that. And that'll be good enough for now. Now, that's our industry taken care of for the moment. We are going to need to run power over here. So we're going to take our power lines. Power does transmit between zones and across roads, but we need some high strength lines over this way. Like that, to cross the water. Now, one thing I've been practicing actually with city skylines, but it's not quite ready yet, is actually trying to do a repeat of my old zone that I did for City Skylines 1, which is the Weeping Willow zone. So I want to give that a try here to see if that's a thing that we can do. So let's give this a try. Although, that might be a bit much for this initial area. So we could probably, let's get our little flattening tool out here just to bring this area up a little bit. Just so we have a little bit more flatland. I'm not going to brute force the terrain, but little touch-ups here and there are certainly within the realm of possibility. Plus, we have to pay for it, so we can't overdo it anyway. All right, so I'm going to make the middle area here 7 tiles wide, but we want to give a little bit area for the top. All right, we're going to need a little bit of flattening up here. It's not too expensive. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, no, we need it a little bit further down. Because we're going to do sort of our inner loop here. It's kind of like an avenue, but split, just using regular one-way roads. So 1, 2, 3, space, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good here. So we need one more down, and then we can do our roads. Now this may seem like a little bit crazy. Oh yeah, also you can't do one-way roads to the region. That's not a linkable thing, but that's okay. We can take a regular road out to the edge of the map here. All right, we go up this way. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, golden. And then we drag the one-ways back here. So this is going to be our primary way for our people to get around town. And one of the advantages, and this holds true even for modern like City Skylines things, is one-way roads basically have doubled capacity of normal roads because both lanes are being used. Right, so we're going to this central area is mostly going to be for our commercial zones. We don't quite need a ton of them right away, and we are going to want some. We're going to want some, you know, things along here, some crossings too here, but. Let's build out a lot of zones. Now, you might be saying, Pinstar, why are you building so many zones out? Shouldn't you, like, take it slower? One of the tricks to SimCity 4 is that you need to, in order to get a good financial basis, you need to zone more than you think you need. You want to create a swath of zones before you even get into you know, plopping down the services other than, say, power and water. We're just going to flatten these up a little bit here just to make this shoreline a little bit more usable. So if you start with just a few zones and then a bunch of services, you're going to be financially struggling for a good portion of the game, and that's going to make things harder than it needs to be. So yeah, we're going to try a Weeping Willow zone here just to see how it feels, see how it works within the simulation confines of SimCity 4. I've never you know, I developed this back in City Skylines 1 and it worked great there. But here, you know, well, we're going to have to see. So we're going to draw you there, and then we're gonna need to make some spaces along the shore here because we want beach houses are a thing. Let's do a little smooth-o-meter here. There we go. That's better. All right, so this will be nice. Some nice beachfront property up here. I also might want to put another. This is like a perfect, another perfect. What's it? Bay here. Another perfect ferry terminal. So we'll consider that. But first, let's get our zones going. Now, for standard residential and commercial zones, 3 away from the road is your standard. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then draw these lower capacity roads because we want to discourage people from using these as crossroads or thoroughfares, because for residences. The more traffic on a road, the more traffic noise there is. And that's something that does lower desirability. For commercial zones, the exact opposite is true, where they want lots and lots of road traffic, and that increases desirability for them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, road. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, road. Yeah, we can do that. It doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3s. As long as I have like 2 on each side, that's good enough. We're also probably going to want some roads up here. Just, again, 3 away from a road is going to be something we need to do just to make sure we cover all of our bases. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we bring you up. And that should cover our bases up here. We'll probably we'll do something with this in a little bit. I'm not going to zone it or road it just yet. And again, because zoning costs you money, you get the most bang for your buck from low density. Actually, the most tax value per square acre is gotten by, well, all right, let me back up a second. The most tax per citizen is gotten from low density. They pay the most taxes. When you go up in density, yes, you are going to get more taxes from a higher density building than a lower density one, but you have more citizens there all demanding more services. So the value proposition to your city for higher density is worse. That being said, you do want high density because that's the only, you can only grow out for so long that before you need to start growing up. So that's our dilemma here. You know, I wonder. We should try. Well, let's see what our finances look like before once we place all of our stuff down before we start doing any crazy stuff with. So down here, ultimately along this road, we want commercial, but we don't want too much commercial. Because in the early game, you don't get a lot of commercial demand. But later on, that becomes so. You know what? We're gonna start with residential, but these developments down here will eventually be converted to commercial zones once commercial demand actually starts to mature. Your city needs to get a bit bigger before that. Early game industrial demand is where it's at. Also, each bit of zoning, you can have multi-block zones here, but you can see which road it's facing. And this is actually very important because for our residences up here, we don't want them facing this road because there's going to be a lot of traffic. But in this game, the residences only measure the road that they are officially attached to. So instead of going here, if we go up here, this will... having them attached to this quieter road will only measure their noise level based on the traffic on these quieter roads. So that's what we want to do here. The game will provide auto sub roads for you if you just draw out a big grid, so you can very quickly and easily make grids. That being said, I like making my own grid. And then same goes for here. You're going to be all up here. And again, zone more than what you think you need. Aha, all right. I'm holding Control, Shift, or Alt, depending on my desired outcome here. Some combination of those buttons and dragging will mess with the orientation of the zones here. Because we want these attached to the quiet roads when possible. We can do a little bit of flattening. We still have a healthy... There we go. Just so we get some more beachfront property. The zones do have a fair amount of tolerance for height. Also, what we can probably do here, this will help increase, is let's get a beach. Can we fit a beach? Oh, that's a perfect spot for a beach. This will increase residential desirability all around it. And plus, it looks nice. And it's not too expensive to build, not too expensive to upkeep. It's a lot of good stuff. All right, let me zone the rest of this, and I'll see you in just a hot second. All right, so our middle portion is absolutely going to be dedicated to commercial. And just like with residential, we're just starting things off with low density. We need far less commercial zones, especially in the early game, but we do need some, and that will help get things moving along here. Now, on this side of things, these I think we should build commercial zones for. But then once we get on this side, we can probably do residentials. The Alt key, when you're dealing with diagonals, especially along the shoreline, some of the keys can get a little fussy. So the Alt keys are usually, that's your way of telling the game, drag the zone in the direction that I want, dang it, and overrides whatever predictions it tries to do. Doesn't always work with one tiles, but for two tiles, especially along these diagonals, it works a lot better. Let's see. We can make that a oops. Yeah, don't try and drag it 4 or it's not gonna. There are cases where tiles can go 4 long, but that does not, by default, will not always work. The zones are dynamic based on desirability. Now, we still have plenty of money in the bank, so I'm basically going to I'm going to mirror this on the other side. So I will be back, because we're basically going to be doing the same thing. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to do here. There is one ordinance. Oh, we haven't been able to. We can't turn them on just yet. All right, we'll deal with ordinances later. Okay, we have our modified weeping willow zones placed here. Sent two residential zones, top and bottom, central commercial strip here. Yes, this line in the middle here is intentional. If you are familiar with my weeping willow zone, you probably can guess what's going to go there eventually. If you're not, well, you just watch and see. We are still at above 50%, but we still have more purchases to make. We need to get water. Basically anywhere is fine, but keep in mind that polluted water will cause the pump's efficiency to go down. Unlike with Skylines, it doesn't, water pollution, there's no water current. It's an area of effect. So the area around our industrial area is going to be polluted to heck and back, but it's not going to drift over here. So we generally want our water stuff over here. Yeah, we can put it. You can put it something like over here or something. Well, actually, yeah, put it over here. Now, as far as pipes go, I'm going to give this one to Skylines for being a better design. So here, you draw out your pipes wherever you want, and it radiates water in a 7-tile radius. I'm going to need to kick on the simulation for a second for the water to start flowing. There we go. That way I can use that to, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 7th tile is that. It just having to manually measure it. I mean, you do pay a minimum amount of upkeep on the pipes themselves, so you don't want to just spam pipes everywhere. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you generally want little forked grids like this. And then likewise on this side. We'll probably do these lengthwise, and yeah, we'll make a. You can use those connections to buy and sell water if there was another sound over there, but we can make that connection for now. And you know what? We'll make this sort of the crossroads area. Well, actually, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That way we can get the pipes out to the map edge. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll see you on the flip side. Okay, we've got all of our things built. Before we unpause, well, we gotta do our shoreline here, but before we unpause, we have one more major zone to create. Remember how I mentioned before that you have the agricultural zone in the industrials, then how they work so much differently than the others? Well, we're gonna press those into service. One, because they just create a lot of low education jobs, which is, when our residents first move in. So Yeah, because when our residences first move in, they will have zero education. We will eventually educate them, but for now, in their our city's early game, we need to get them some jobs that don't require that. One form of that is dirty industry up here, but the other reason, the other form is agricultural. The other reason that we want agricultural is because of a mechanic this game has called rewards. Rewards are things that special buildings that you earn when you meet certain conditions. And they all do different things, give you different bonuses and whatnot. But there is a specific reward that we are interested in that is very difficult to get later in the game, but is easier to get early game. Not those. Most rewards are late game ones, but there are a few that are specifically early game. Here we are, the farmer's market. City size 3,000, very, very easy to get. Mayor area 34, easy to get. Farm population 600. And farmers, agricultural demand tends to dry up as your citizens become more educated. So it may be difficult to get this, but once you get the building, then it's with you forever. So we're gonna lay down some farms. Now farms work a bit differently. We're gonna get just a central road down here. And you know what? I'm gonna divert it over here because farms, just like other industries, need to have a way to deliver their goods to market. Farms also require a lot of space, but they're cheap to zone, so it's all good. They also they don't make air pollution, they make ground pollution. I'm going to do... I'm just going to do some regular cross streets here. Just a few of them along the lines here. I'm not really spacing them super exactly. Farms are pretty good about filling whatever space you want. They like lots and lots of room. Oh, what the hey? We'll let that little cross street do its thing. We'll let that form. Let you form. I don't want that one because it's redundant. It's also going to drain a fair amount of our money. There we go. Yeah, farms won't let you zone them if it's too small. I guess we can do this little cross street here. Don't need that. Don't need that. All right, yeah, we'll let you have your cross street. That's fine. All right, there's our farm zones. So this should hopefully get us our farmers market. There's also another reward, the state fair, that I also might try to lunge for. And then slowly we will take over the farm zones here. You reclaim them and rezone them to something more thing, much like a lot of historical cities would grow, where they started out as a whole bunch of farms, but then things got more developed and, you know, farms got replaced with other big city stuff. We're going to draw these down just because that's the prevailing shape of the land here. Farms need the water too. They pollute the water, but that's not as bad as some of the others. Compared to air pollution, you're not going to get quite as many complaints. Just don't put your water extractors near farms. And that should get us plenty of farmy goodness. Now, I'm going to unpause here in just a moment. You might be saying, oh, Pinstar, aren't you forgetting things? You know, like schools and police and fire departments and medical facilities and all the other services and amenities. We'll get there. What you want to do is you want to get your baseline income first and then build amenities as your budget has room. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in a hole. So we are currently bleeding $940 a month. Obviously, there's more to be coming. And actually, what we probably want to do is, I am happy to throw down some parks. I'm gonna do like a medium flower garden, like right about here, front and center. Because flower gardens, if memory serves, flower gardens benefit both residential's and commercial desirability. So having a little bit of a pump right there in the middle is a desirable thing. All right, let's kick this up. You know, we might actually need a, well, we'll see if, yeah, the landfill might not be able to access everybody. So we might need to use some of our money to get a bridge going. I think I will just do a standard bridge. That's a lot cheaper than the 37,000 one that we had before. We do want to make sure it is not too low for ferries, because this is going to be important in the long run. There are different bridge styles. Yeah, and if you raise it too high, there's one particular style that is very... There's also some custom bridges here. There we go. The high road bridge is just, it's not as pretty, but it makes it a lot easier to be okay for ferries. So now we're good. So now, I mean, I don't want to demolish this either, but we now have a way for trucks, and more specifically the garbage trucks, to make it to the rest of our zones. All right, we're getting our stuff on now. And as you can see, they're gravitating to the areas that give bonus desirability. And we're getting our first farm built as well. It usually just occupies the whole thing with fields, and then you get one random building here. The way it does jobs is deceptive. It actually gives you jobs per tile, but the tiles themselves don't show how many jobs. And the farm building only shows fewer jobs than normal. Also, one of the mods I'm doing is Industry Doubler, which basically doubles the amount of jobs all industries provide, but it also doubles the amount of resources they consume, meaning water and power. One of the complaints of SimCity is that the industrial zones don't provide enough jobs for the size that they take up. So this mod basically modifies how many jobs they all produce, but makes them as much, twice as demanding. So it's not like you're getting the income for free. You have to put up with, twice as much pollution, twice as much power requirements, twice as much water requirements, etc., and twice as much traffic as your citizens, drive there or go to their jobs. So it's, in my mind, it is not a cheat as per se of a mod that, it doesn't give you an unfair advantage when playing the game. It's more of a patch to correct some of the, one of the oversights. All right, folks. Well, we are just getting started here, but I think we have reached the end of our first episode. So in our next episode, we will see how our town grows and see if our budget can handle some services for us. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, it's been Pinstar signing out. See ya.